Good hello and welcome to the fifth lesson in my series of 6 introductory guitar lessons for people wanting to learn how to play the guitar with a right hand classical technique or fingerstyle technique. In the first 4 lessons we've learned how to tune the guitar, how to sit with the guitar, whether you sit in a classical formal style like this or whether you sit in an informal style like this, whether you use a stand or a footstool is up to you. The focus has been on the right hand and placing the right hand on the guitar in a way that is relaxed and light, but also in a way that produces a full tone. So the thumb resting on the 6th string and the fingers resting on the 1st, 2nd and 3rd strings being the home position. We learned that the fingers I, M and A and the thumb P, that's the Latin, swing for the fingers from the knuckle joints under the hand at 45 degrees across the strings, and the thumb circling around from ceiling to floor, playing either the 6th, 5th or 4th usually. Occasionally it moves onto the treble strings, but mostly stays on the bass strings. We've learnt block chords, playing all of the fingers together and thumb, and that is an E minor chord on the open strings. We've learnt how to play arpeggios, that's separating the notes of the chord using patterns like this one, P, I, M, A, M, I, and backwards. And maintaining that stable right hand without bouncing too much and moving around. We introduced some left hand notes. So we introduced the note C, that's using the first finger, placing the number 1 finger, index finger, behind the 1st fret of the 2nd string, C, and then the 3rd finger behind the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, D, and then on the 1st string, 1st fret, F. Today I'd like to introduce the 3rd fret of the 1st string being G, 3rd finger, 3rd fret, and that means we will have a close to a full C major scale. So we've learned so far, or focused so far on the chords and arpeggios of the right hand. So we did this exercise last week using a C major chord, G6 chord, G7, back to C. But we haven't yet learnt how to play a scale. So we've learnt block chords, arpeggios, but scales we use various combinations of the right hand with fingerstyle classical technique, and the primary main combination we use for scale runs is walking movement with the index and middle fingers, so alternating index and middle between the notes. So I'll give you an example here. So the new note that we're going to introduce today being G, 3rd fret, first string fills in the first 6 notes or 6 notes of the C major scale on those first 2 strings of the first position on the guitar. So starting on the note C, which is obviously the first note of the C major scale, C, D, E, F, G. And we alternate the index middle fingers for each different note. So the first note C, playing index finger, second note D, middle finger, third note E, index again, F, middle finger again, G, index, and as you get faster, you develop that dexterity and the movement to be able to play fast scale passages using that combination of I and M. Other combinations, I and A, M and A as well, alternating. But for this introductory first time at playing scale passages with the right hand, we'll focus just on the index and middle combination, and just with that first part of the C major scale between C and G. Doesn't matter how fast or slow you go, when you first attempt to play the scale, it's better to go slow and get the alternating in its purest form. So I, M, I, M, I, M, I, M, I, without doubling up, always alternating between the two, between each note. So that's the fundamental idea behind playing scale or runs or melodic phrases with the right hand technique, classical technique, using that alternating pattern. So this week I'd like to consolidate really what we'd learned so far, apart from tuning and sitting and feeling comfortable with the guitar and all the basics of the guitar, like the right hand position, above the sound hole, just on the bridge side, and keeping the right hand stable, and the left hand also stable. So consolidating our chord, our arpeggio, our arpeggios with the C, G6, G7, and then G, G major, back to C, and then our scale or our fragment of the scale of C major. That should give you plenty to work on this week. I hope you are enjoying learning to play the guitar with the right hand, and I hope you're finding it useful for your playing, or if you're a beginner, first time playing the guitar, I hope you're learning something and enjoying playing the guitar. continue, persist, and you will be playing songs and pieces very soon as you develop your right hand technique, and then as you learn right hand scales and chords. We'll build each week, and in the next series I will start to introduce songs and pieces with what we've already learned. But for now, the foundation of right hand technique is the most elemental and important aspect of classical playing and fingerstyle. I'll see you next week. Enjoy playing the guitar. Thank you. Goodbye.